Hey everybody, it's Dalton. Now, to get started, I know you guys have not seen my wife for quite a long while. She hasn't been fishing in quite a long time. I just want to show you real quick. I'm still married, and she didn't ditch me. I just want you guys to know she's still here.
I'm here.
36 years strong. So everything's good. Anyway, we're going to talk about these jigs. Okay, first of all, here's a completed jig here. Weed guard, ball head jig, finesse jig, plenty of skirt to go ahead and trim. I trim all my skirts, I trim all my weed guards. I want things just a certain way. Now, I'm going to go over some prices with you here in just a minute, but the first thing I want to do is show you how I tie a jig. And I kind of have I'm a little picky about it. I probably go a little overkill on my knots, but I'd rather go overkill than not enough. So I've looked at several different options. One was wire tying. I didn't like wire tying. I did it for a little while. I didn't like it. The other one is there are some new skirt bands out now that are UV protected, which means they'll never rot, not like the old ones. I really like using the wax nylon. This is, I have a lot of fun tying these jigs. So let me take you over to my little jig making place. I did have an actual jig vise or fly tying vise, and I broke it within a week or so. So I just went to Harbor Freight, got me a regular vise, got it braced here in case I want to move it around. I'm going to show you guys how I tie a jig. So it's going to start with a little 1/2 ounce ball head jig right here in my vise. Thing is, I always take my time when I'm doing this. I do not get in any hurry whatsoever. I've got my bobbin, I've got my wax nylon, and right here on this shoulder is where I do my first layer. I want to make sure that that's layered really good. And then let me find my scissors. Here they are. So then I just cut off this excess, all right? Then what I do is I'm going to take my skirting material. These are, they're called tabs. This is brown and purple, my PB&J. And I have a little mark here where I keep them all. I use a little magnet. It holds those down. Then what I'm going to do, and again, like I say, I take my time, is I'm going to start working this around. So I come over here a couple of times, and then I slowly begin to move that skirting material around so I know the entire collar is covered with skirting material. Then I just cinch it. Now I use a hairpin just to keep everything out of the way. And I do 8 wraps here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I do what I think is called half hitches. And I do 3 of these, okay? Real simple. Some guys stop right here. I go one extra step. I do, this is called a whip knot. What I do is I come around once, twice. There's one. I'm gonna do it again. Once, twice, and there's 2. Then I just cut that off. And then here's what I do. I pull this off. Cut the skirt. Pull this off. Cut the skirt here. And now I have a completed jig. What I do is I shake it and I make sure, I inspect it to make sure everything's right. The key that I want the jig or the skirt material to be tight to the head of that jig. This one came out perfect. Okay, I'm gonna do it one more time. This time I'll have my wife just go ahead and step back a little ways, and I'll just show you what I do out here. This is kind of just what I do. Grab jig head. Give it that first wrap. After doing this over and over again, you definitely get a little bit better at it. I pretty much got it down to a science now, but I have tied so many jigs. My magnet. Start working the material around the collar. And then I just make sure that it's covering that collar completely. Sometimes I just got to look at it. After a while, just get a feel for it, you know it's done it. Get my Dollar Tree hairpin. My half hitches. And then do my whip tying. These whip knots are what they use a lot for tying flies for trout fishing. There you go. Cut it. Make sure everything's right. And another perfect jig. And that's exactly how I do it. Now, as far as prices for my jigs, you know, I kind of look at the industry standard on prices, and I think I've set a good price at $4 a jig. I think that is, in today's market, a very fair price for hand-tied jigs. So all of my jigs, $4 a jig. If you buy, say you spend $30 or more, then we'll pay the shipping. Up to that, I'm not gonna be able to pay the shipping because shipping does get kind of expensive. So anything $30 or more, we pay the shipping. Again, $4 a jig. Right now, the color that I'm selling right now is my peanut butter and jelly. But I also have other colors on their way, which will include, excuse me, a brown and orange. So hopefully this video kind of gets everything all worked out. We've ordered our bags today, our labels. I also have, what is it, Prop 65, hun? I have the little Prop 65 stickers that you have to put on baits in California. It's the law. And this is an actual business. So, you know, we've worked to make sure that we've got all our ducks in a row and we're doing everything right. And so we're ready to sell jigs. Another thing, I don't know when it's going to come in, probably in a week or so, but I've ordered some molds on making my own jig trailers. If I wind up liking these jig trailers, I'll be letting you know about it. Well, we appreciate you all. Thanks for tuning in. You want to buy some jigs? The easiest way to get a hold of me is email, drwbassfishing@gmail.com. Let me know how many you want. We'll get them all together and get them shipped to you. Thanks again. Talk to you next time.